Bienvenido, BIGJAY, escape a República Dominicana. Hasta pronto, papi.
Big J, take one.
This is Big J Escape to the Dominican Republic, back again for part 3. My boy from the UK, G, dropping some knowledge. Like I say, he's been coming to Dominican Republic for 14 years. So I've just on this brother that actually given me his time. He's given me 1 hour of his time. He's gonna give us another half an hour. So we're gonna, as I said, in part 2, we're gonna touch on, we're gonna just talk to the UK brothers a bit, because a lot of you American brothers know about it here, but the UK brothers don't. So, and then we're gonna touch on what Dominican Republic has done for G's life, what it's done for his soul, and so forth. So,
okay,
touching on the UK brothers, how? I mean, I've spoken to a lot of my brothers over there. I've told them, and you know, when I was a single man, I'm not single no more. I've shown them the pictures.
Right.
And certain man say, where you get that from? Where you get that from? Instagram?
Yeah,
where you get it? What that? They just don't believe me.
Because they don't look into a Latin narrative. That's the reason why I don't say that. Because they're, first of all, it's language. So they're not going to look at Latin images because they don't understand. So they won't look into the narrative of anything to do with Latin, which is Spanish. So all their narrative is going to be English, English, and then English. So obviously it's going to be a surprise for you to show them someone that looks like a footballer's wife. Yeah. And then they say, oh, you're not talking to a Jay. Get out of here. You're bullshitting me, man. And that's how they see it, because they don't look at a Latin narrative.
Right.
You understand? Right. So you can show them girls and they look like drop-dead gorgeous models, right?
I just think that you're lying.
Of course they do, because they don't look in a Latin narrative. But here's the funny thing. When I lived in Southeast London, I tell some brothers, some game, go down to Elephant and Castle.
I know Elephant and Castle.
The little Latin quarter right there, all the Colombian girls. When you go down there, you're going to meet Colombians and Brazilians. That's where I used to go, and I used to go to the salsa clubs. That's where I used to be chopping it.
Okay.
That's why I met Ecuadorians, Peruvians, Colombians, I met Dominicans, I met Boricuas.
Is it still going today?
It should be still, they still have salsa.
Right, so London man them, get yourself down.
That's why I used to go, and that's why I used to meet Latinas in England. I met one wicked Colombian woman. Oh man!
So what would you say to the UK? What would you? I mean, because you know we do the whole, you know, if you're from the Caribbean, we go back home, and then we do the Spain thing and the Greece thing.
I used to go to Spain.
What would you say to the UK?
I had a girlfriend in Spain, so I used to go to Madrid a lot. Been to Fuengirola because you know we used to travel around. The world's a big place. You just can't pigeonhole yourself into one space. I mean, the world's too big, especially with the internet. There's no reason.
As I said, we're talking to the brothers that are in a bad situation right now.
You gotta get out. I mean, like, if something's not working, just cut this shit and move on. I mean, life, you know, as they say in Spanish, de la vida tiene muchas vueltas. Life has different turns. You know what I mean? The life has different directions. Things happen. You know, some people fall out of love. That's just how life is. It happens. It's not the end of the world. It's just that you go again. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you go again. It's not the end of the world. Don't use the mortgage as a fucking excuse. And the kids, sometimes you just gotta separate to free yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to separate and free yourself. And I'm not just saying it for the man, them, even the women, them sometimes. You know, you just gotta get away. And then something new comes along, it rejuvenates you, brings freshness back to your life, new energy, right? And it gives you a lot more things to look forward to in life as a human being. So sometimes change. The most definitive thing in life is change. Change is as good as the rest. You gotta change sometimes.
So you touched on in part 1, and a little bit in part 2 that doctors, lawyers, and people that work for the government.
Yeah.
The women. What would you say to those? And I'm playing advocate that. But them women, because they've got money, that they're not gonna act like a Dominican woman.
They're not gonna be as needy. They won't be as needy. So you won't have to be like, you know, straight away coming up with paper and things like that, because they got their shit together. Just like a girl in London.
So it just cuts out the paper. Would you say so? They are the same. It just cuts out the paper.
It's going to be a process. Is what the word I'm going to use to get to where you need to go. To knock down buildings, it's a process. So you're gonna have to do the whole get to know, the wooing, because they're educated.
You see, but so this is the problem.
They're
See,
educated,
some
so-
man them don't want to do that.
Right, well that's what I'm saying. But
Because
some
there's
men are looking for a relationship.
Right,
So
yeah.
for the guys that are looking, I'm saying to you that decent women are here. Don't believe the hype over this one little area. Okay?
Sosua, yeah,
Just
that's
stop all that. Just pull out the map. Go on Google and look. There's so many provinces. Good women is everywhere. You've got to do. Listen, back in the day, I'm talking from early 2000s. I was like a beachcomber. I used to get in a car and I just have girls all about the place, and I just be stopping up at different places. That's how I know the island. I'd go from one place to another. That's how I get to know the island. I get to know the places. There was one place that I went to, and I don't know, it must be the water. It's a place called San Jose de la Matas. It's just outside Santiago. Some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life on this island.
What's it called again?
San Jose de la Matas.
And that's near
Just outside Santiago. For some reason, in La Vega, well, the women are just mad. Santiago, El Final. You know, it's the best shit. But anyway, and I used to travel around, and that's how I used to get to know the place and meet people from different places. So I've had all these types of different experiences over the years.
There's definitely something in the water. In
But
Santiago.
the everywhere is good. I'm not going to say that place, San Jose, for some reason, just all the women are so beautiful. I don't know what it was, or maybe I just got there on a very good day.
Yeah.
And there's another place not too far from Puerto Plata, Gaspar Hernandez. That's another
Gaspar
place.
Hernandez, yeah, I know.
And that's
I know,
another
I know,
place.
yeah,
Women
yeah,
just
yeah,
banging out of it. La Vega used to get me shook.
You know what? A big shout out to my big bro Dave. Dame put me onto Gaspar Hernandez.
Crazy out there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dame is
I went to there-
Dame is the original.
Well,
He's the original. He's a man
many
that
years
travels.
ago, I went
Yeah,
to their
yeah. Big shout out, Dave.
Their centenary year. I went to the centenary and they had this big, like, fiesta. Man, the whole town came out. Man, I never seen so much beautiful things in my life. It was amazing. It was surreal. You know.
You know when you tell, and staying with the brothers in the UK, when you tell the brothers in the UK, look man, you can find a woman of your dreams. People be like, nah,
Listen.
you know, you're trying to sell me this figure. It's like,
Reggie.
I'm not trying to sell it
Look,
to you. I'm telling you.
Listen, Reggie. I used to have a rule.
I don't have to sell it to you.
I used to have a rule. Okay, well, back in the day, I used to bring some man from London, and then I used to have my mans them from Toronto, and I had a couple man them I knew from New York. So we all used to converge down here, and we were like 20, 30 deep. Okay, and I just said, look, and I know some of the man them are there with me back home. So I said, listen, what happens in DR stays in DR. Do not record anything. Okay, don't take any pictures. And everybody agreed, because I know certain man had youths and family living with women and everything. The whole setup was nice. So I said, but just come and enjoy yourself, and that's it, yeah? So everybody agreed, everyone did their thing, everyone had a great time. One brethren in particular, I didn't know, he decided to become a cameraman. All right, so, and this was in Port Plata, by the way, so I ain't gonna mention his name. Anyway, so, I'm knocking on the brethren's door and I'm hearing the ooh-ah, and I'm like, okay, so I'm busy, cool. But anyway, man's in there with two things. So I didn't know man's become a videographer, and he started to be a cameraman and videoing what he was doing. So anyway, he went back home. He got back to South East London, South Norwood. Anyways, so he lives with the missus. So her phone dropped and broke. So, you know, she's looking through the yard to find some old phone to put the chip in. I mean, I know nothing about this right now. So anyway, she's going through the drawer and she saw her phone. She charged it up. She put her chip in there and she's just like trying to get all the numbers through and ting. She sees a video. Boom, he's on the video tearing two things. Right? On, you know, dealing with two girls in the room. Some explicit shit. So she gave him an ultimatum. He can't come back to this island or the marriage is over. He can never, and this was 2006 and he's not been back here since 2006. You know how much he'd love to come here? He even tried to make, you know what he's gonna do? He was gonna go yard and then drop down by here, and I said, listen Bridget, the ticket's gonna leave a trail. Forget it.
So
that was
basically-
206.
So basically, you would say to the London man, them, come over, give it a try.
Come over, give it a try, and come and see a different
culture.
cultural experience. There's something here for everybody. It's always good to have an open mind. we only got one shot at life. We only got one movie to play and star in as a role. So just come and see what it's about. And if you are prepared to come and see this place, learn the language. It's Rosetta Stone. Go online, get the CD, and then whatever I don't know what they call them because I never needed them. But whatever you have to do to learn, because once you can speak a little bit of the language,
I'm bad for that.
It's easier. It makes life easier, and I can tell you, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. So for me,
yeah. What has that's what I was coming to. What has Dominican Republic done for your soul? Done for your heart? How has it changed you? Because G coming from London, G going to all these places and living, what has Dominican Republic?
What it has done for me?
And is this your last bus stop?
This is the final stop for me. Number one. Toronto was great. Too cold though. It's not a place for a brother to be. It's too cold. I mean, the winter, 5 months. I've seen snow in May when I was living in Toronto, and I said, you know what? Fuck this for a game of cricket. I'm gone. And I mean, it was too much. You're sitting in the yard. And then you're not getting the pumps, and you're both blocked up in the yard together. It's like you have to make an appointment. You know what I mean? Yep. So, with that being said, spiritually, it's been the happiest moment of my life is living in this country. Even UK growing up. Fuck that. Yeah. This is the best experience of my life. And I'll explain why. Because spiritually, I'm happy. Every day I wake up just feeling blessed to be here. I exercise, I get the fresh air from the ocean, I have fresh food, I have access to people that are happy. I'm not going to deal with the miserableness of the UK, the bad weather, the bad attitude, people looking down at their nose at you. You're going into a certain little area in Surrey and all these little fuckery areas where Henry VIII is, right? Well, you don't fucking belong anyway, but you bring your ass around there, right? And then man's asking you, are you visiting? Asking you what you're doing around here because you're a brother in a nice car. See, I don't have to deal with that fuckery. You know what I mean? So all them things I've gone through. I'm from the north of England, so I know about racism, So spiritually, I'm very happy. Every day I wake up, I feel blessed to be alive here on this island because I've found my inner peace. And now I have my inner peace with happiness and love and appreciation from someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with because we're gonna touch on the Queen.
We're gonna touch on the Queen because I have to say what you were saying. Your inner peace and your spirituality. This is what Dominican Republic's done for me. This is how I feel. I feel like I'm at spiritual peace. I feel like I'm at tranquility. Just everything. It's just the country's just done a lot for me.
It makes me feel. And by the way, it's a very calm place. It's not the rat race like London. No. You know what I mean? Like back in the day in London, I had lots of properties. I had about 34 properties at the time. And I used to be chasing from North London, Hackney, flying down to West London. I was going all over the place just trying to make sure that the fixing the leaks, the boiler's not working, man ain't paid the rent, this and that, some fuckery going on, and running always in my car. I lived in the car, actually lived in my car.
Wow.
I lived in my car. That's all you did in London. You just on road all the time. And then you got man jamming you up on the road, man's trying to come out the car to fight you, man's cutting you off, and baby, you fucking can't, come on, you bastard. And then all that kind of madness going on in your life as stress. Here you don't have any of that. People don't start cursing you out on the road here and carrying like animals. We don't do that here.
So Dominican women versus the Western women.
You got more love here. It's a fact. There's more love here. And if you're looking for love, it's here. Again, it depends which place you're looking for it. There's a song, looking for love in all the right places or the wrong places. It depends where you're looking for it. You've just got to know what you're looking for and where to go and look for it. And it's what's comfortable to you. And you made a point about, some guys that look a certain way. I mean, I keep myself together because that's just who I am. You understand me? And that's the way I want to be. Even my kids, they're all athletic, very strong people. I like to keep myself correct because that's just my inner spiritual self, right? But for any brother that wants to come here from the UK or anywhere in the world, come down here and look to see what is here and what's comfortable for you. And if your narrative is to be a construction guy and a demolition man, then you go to the demolition area and knock down the buildings. If you're looking for something a little bit more serious and long term, go elsewhere. Puerto Plata's good. I ain't gonna knock Puerto Plata's not in there. There's many places, anywhere. Campo's off the chain if you find the right one in Campo. You know what I mean? You know, your Emmerdale farm type, your Emmerdale farm type, your Emmerdale farm type is there too. So again, it's up to you what you're looking for, what you want as a man. And yes, you can live here. Now, people, you touched on something about, also, what do you do? Well, I own my own company. So I have a company registered in Panama.
Right.
I actually export sugar, and sugar like the sugar that you put in your tea. So I have a relationship with one of the refineries in Brazil, and we supply, actually I'm actually supplying sugar to Colombia right now, and we have another transaction, hopefully we'll try and get it done before the end of this year, this month actually being December, to Ghana, 100,000 metric tons a month. I'm also into the Bitcoin. I've got some Bitcoin transactions that I'm dealing with next. So by the way, getting to Bitcoin, it's about $20,000 per coin. I think it might be 19 now, it might drop down a bit. So I've got a guy that's doing wants to start with 9 coins first transaction. All this is in Dubai, by the way.
Wow.
And then he goes up to 50 coins a day, which is $1 million. It's 20,000 a coin. All right. So now I'm getting I just work on commission basis. I'm also exporting food as well. So we have supplies of food to Venezuela. My company does mostly business in Latin America because I'm bilingual. My partner, she's Colombian, she's also bilingual as well. We also are selling, in Spanish they call it guantes, which is actually gloves, surgical gloves for COVID-19. Okay. So I've got a transaction that we're working with the US military right now, supplying like, the deal's mad, it's like 10 billion boxes of gloves. It's for all of the different doctors, surgeries, hospitals in the US. So we're doing that right now. Hopefully, you know, that sort of closes out, which I think it will, because it's looking good with the attorneys. What else I do? I also direct to platforms which are monetizing platforms in London, who monetize bank instruments from 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, 400 million, 500 million. So they monetize it and put it on a platform exchange, and they trade the money. So that's kind of stuff that I do. So try to do something that's virtual. First of all, if you're going to come here and live, do something that's absolutely virtual. It has to be virtual for you to be here. I can work from my phone. I don't even need to be on the computer. I can just work from my telephone. I use Bolting for Dubai because that's what they use over there. WhatsApp, you can't make calls, only text. But when I want to call them directly, I use Bolting. I also use Bolting for China because we have a Chinese partner. I have a partner in China, I have a partner in Dubai. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that we do. So we have we actually partners with one of the heads of the Chamber of Commerce of China. So I do a lot of international business, and I do it all from my phone, from Wi-Fi. God bless Altice. You know what I mean? So that's how I sustain myself.
What has your queen, moving on to your queen, what has your Dominican queen done for your life?
It's calmed me down in a sense that my narrative has changed, and I'll explain the reason why.
Yeah, please.
So, unbeknown to many of your listeners, there are a lot of guys that come here primarily, and I'm going to say the truth, primarily from the United States.
That's what we do here. This is what we do here.
Primarily from the United States, and they drop dead here. They actually drop dead. No one finds them, and when they do, they can smell them, they're dead body, and they come and pick them up and take them to the morgue and then inform the embassy. Why? Because they're alone. They're knocking down buildings, but they got nobody that cares about them. No. Some people may or may not like this statement, but it's fucking true.
Yeah.
Right. So they knock down buildings. They're dealing with gal, and you got to put the money on the counter. She takes it and she's gone, and she'll text you again when she wants to do a rerun. But you got nobody that loves you, that cares for you. And if something goes wrong with you down here, they got no one to look out for them. Okay. So obviously I've knocked down buildings over the years, and you know, I've been in relationships because I wanted to slow it all down. I got big kids, so obviously, you know, you want to set an example for your children.
Of course.
Me and my son's 34, 29. I got big kids.
You got big kids, yeah.
So with that being said, I wanted to move on a different level. That's why I formed the relationship. I'm very happy. She's a professional, works in the bank, blah, blah, blah. No baby mama drama crap, all right? So at the end of the day, it's your narrative. It's what you're looking for. But for me personally, and you're probably thinking, Jay, is it easy to try and be in a relationship with one woman? Man, listen.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I'm gonna
you
tell
know
you.
what?
But let me.
Is it? And I like when is it easy
But
being in a relationship in the Dominican
But
Republic with all of these fine-ass women around?
Well, first of all,
And not only there's fine-ass women around,
yeah.
they're willing to give you down there.
Well, listen. I've slowed down in the sense that the temptation is less now that I've got somebody full time 24/7.
Got you.
So that's what's kept me calmer, and I don't really step out. So my thing is fine, so I'm good.
So would you say that you just got rid of the demons at your bucket?
I think the temptation is what you should say. I got rid of the temptation because obviously I showed you the picture of my thing and you said, wow, I said, that's me.
Yes.
But I got rid of the temptation because at the end of the day, it's not meaningful. If anything, they can just fuck up your good thing that you've got. They're not actually they're not trying to give me a future, they're giving me a moment. So I had to decide, do I want the moment or do I want the future?
I like that one.
So I decided to take the future route than the moment. Don't get me wrong, Jim Screech, you know, I want to just, take a little slide to the left one time on a little low.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, she can't give me a future, she can't give me a moment. Now, if anything happens to me, I know that she's there to pick me up, take me to the doctor, speak to him in the local language, right?
If you can't speak Spanish.
If you couldn't speak, and then make me good again, or save my life. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you got brothers that will come over here, and they suffer strokes and heart attacks here in this country, and they're alone. They don't want to tell you the truth, but me I tell you the bomber cloud truth. Them drop down here so with stroke, and they got one heap of girl in the phone, but not one of them will come and visit them in hospital.
True.
Not one of them, because we don't have a proper relationship. That's where they fuck up. So if you're gonna come here and live here, think about future. Think about long term. Knock down the buildings when you get here as a construction man, demolition guy. I get it. But long term, if you're going to live here, you've got to form a relationship because it's lonely as well. Remember, and also another food for thought. A lot of guys are here spending Christmas by themselves. And let me tell you something, when you're asking these girls to come and check your Christmas, they're not coming for nothing. They love their family more than even the money. They say, no, estoy con mi familia. Estoy con mi familia. No puede. And they'll tell you they can't come because I'm with my family. It's Christmas. It's our family moment. You got to respect the family moment. Then after the family moment's over, then they'll come and check for the money. So, and a lot of the dudes are by themselves, living alone in big villas. Real talk. I'm just giving you the 100. Me, I love that family thing at Christmas because I've spent many years alone before finding a real serious relationship. So I've done that. I've known the moments, and then at Christmas, some like Christmas time, you're there trying to call a little beanie or a girl to come round, and she'll be telling you she can't come because she's cooking. The family's here, my mum and dad are here, my cousins come from New York, they just arrived, I can't come out. And it's like one family member come, you think you're going to get that grind off the girl? And all of a sudden she'll text me, oh, mi amor, lo siento, mi hermana está aquí de Nueva York. He just came. So a brother come, it's more important than her jumping on your dick. You understand? And that's it, you're done. And then she'll see you whenever she wants to come.
You know what I hated? And I've said this to, I say I've been in a Dominican relationship. I hated the fact when, and I always say this to Dominican women, like, yo, if we ever succeed or if we ever make it, I don't want your family coming in the yard. I don't want to walk in and then order on the bed.
Okay, that's a good point.
Me not in that bitch.
I'll answer that. I'll answer that question.
Quarters.
I'll answer that question because, again, everything is about what you're prepared to accept. If you don't like something, you just tell them straight and it's done. Because guys here are very strong when they speak. You notice the men where they talk, very powerful and strong. They if they don't like something, they set the bar from day one. Listen, don't do that. I don't like that. And you tell the woman, and then she just has to tell everybody, no, don't go in that room. It's his private room. You can't go in there. And everybody obeys the rule. So would you say that guys are accepting that they're just not putting their foot down? You got to put your foot down and say what you... I've had a say because it's not my yard. Well, you can't call the car. No, but I said I've looked at it and said, no. But if it was your yard, they'd have to respect it's your yard. See, it's different. But I've heard, mans have hit me up saying that they're paying the rent and they're walking in and there's the sister, there's the mum, there's the brother, and they're all sitting on the bed, and it's like, yo! That's their fault because they never set the narrative. They've got to say what is comfortable for them and what's not comfortable. See, I don't allow people to do that because I don't have that scenario. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I, for instance, have my yard and me and my missus in the yard now, and I say, listen, I don't want anybody running up and down in that bedroom, messing up the bedroom, then they don't do it because I'm the man of the Ross Clark house. And me pay the blood clot bills. You know, I'd make no family come in here and mess up the things.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not paying the rent. You understand me? So you've got to set the narrative. You always have to put your foot down and say what it is you do and don't like. And when you're a provider here, you're respected as a provider. But again, you have to set the narrative. Very important. There was another point I was going to touch on in regards to knocking down walls. Again, going back to the brothers that will come here, and even the UK brothers, nothing wrong with fun. It depends what you're coming here for. Older men will have a different narrative to a younger man.
True.
So young guys, demolition men. Older guys looking for something a bit more secure, a bit more companionship, etc.
And not only that, we gotta have that connection.
Yeah, but you gotta
have that. I've realised with the older guys that always say, "Oh, I need that connection." Even though they're knocking down the building, they kind of need that connection. Now I've realised that where the younger man, they would just go and just they're not business and just like, badam.
Let me tell you, there's plenty of guys here that are married to women and they're very happy.
Yeah.
Not any problem. No, plenty of guys.
They just want them
you'll always hear bad news fast. Bad news comes quick and it spreads. No one tells you about the success stories. Nobody wants to tell you about the guys that come from the US, living here with Dominican women, got a family and they're happy as Larry. Nobody wants to tell because that doesn't sell. Bad news sells.
Yeah.
Okay? And I know numerous people who are in great relationships, got kids here, and they have a great relationship with the Dominican family, and there's no problems. So don't believe the hype. It's not all bad. And remember, a man that's coming down here, knocking down a building, he run up, he goes in the shower, he comes out, she's already gone through his things, and then he's saying, yo, she robbed me, but wait a minute. You with a girl from the road. You with a girl from the ghetto. Just like she was a ghetto in the US of A or UK. She's from the ghetto, so you know what she could be doing.
She's gonna be grimy.
You know the levels of what she could do. So why are you complaining? You're already giving her the chance by leaving the wallet there. So what do you expect her to do? She's from the hood. Just I always look at things like this. Same thing here, same thing at home. Just look at it like that. You want a hood rat, go to the back. You want a hood rat, go into any borough of New York. And you're gonna get a hood chick. Alright? You want a girl that works uptown Manhattan, go for a girl that works uptown Manhattan. That's a higher level of girl. Same thing here. Go to Santo Domingo, go to Santiago. You can find high class girls here in Playa Dorada. Go to Playa Dorada at night. There's nice bars and restaurants inside the Playa Dorada where the hotels are. You find a high class for the black and white. Doctors, nurses.
Run that again. Repeat that again, just in case, because you know there's some deaf people.
You go to Playa Dorada. Okay, so it's a place where all the hotels are. Inside there are bars, restaurants. You find professional women from Puerto Plata, only professionals. Why? Because everything in there is pricey, the drinks are expensive, and the high-class people of Puerto Plata, that's where they go. So you're not going to find them in no little rinky-dinky bars down at the Malecon. You're going to find them, the high-class people are inside of Playa Dorada. You'll find lawyers, you'll find doctors, you'll find bankers, you'll find bank officers, managers. They're inside there. Okay? And they're not walking in there. They're driving. They got their own yard. And a lot of them are single. And you know the weirdest part about it is they're looking for a man too. Because some of the guys here, and I'm not dissing the local man, they don't measure up to where they're at. That gives you an opportunity to get in there. As long as you can communicate with them, there's a chance there for you. But here's a gem. How long are you here for? They say, are you visiting? They'll ask you, are you here for how long? Are you just on vacation? When you say you live here, then all opportunities become apparent. That means then you can take the time, because there's no time limit here. The clock's not ticking. That's why they'll say, oh, you live here? I say, yeah, okay, here's my number.
Wow, G.
Here's my number, because you live here.
You've dropped some, listen man, you've dropped some
When you're on
gems.
vacation, they're probably not going to bother you because they know you're here to just do some demolition work on the building. They know that. So they know you're just a demolition man, and they said, no, I'm not going to give you my number. But if you live here, oh, ¿qué parte tu vivo? So where are you living? You say, oh, this is okay. So here's my number. We can maybe go for a drink or something to eat. And then you do the get to know thing. That's how, if you're doing it with a decent girl, the get to know thing, take her out for a pizza or for a meal.
When you see a lot of men will say, oh, you're simping, which I'm sick of that.
Well,
because it's not, it's a grown man, it's a grown man. They do the same shit.
I'm gonna
in America, they do the same shit.
So then when you're doing that in America, what do you call that? When you do that in London, you take a girl out for cocktails, take her for Thai food. What's that then?
A date. You call it a date.
Right, so what's wrong with doing that here?
Nothing.
At the end of the day, and I always and use this as a narrative, take away the language for a moment. These are just women like any other place in the world. They're women. All right? Take away the language that you don't understand. Right. Just treat them as women. They like to have flowers. They like to have chocolates. Facts. Just like women in your own country.
Facts.
They like a guy to sometimes buy them a pair of nice shoes,
Facts.
buy them nice blows or whatever.
But yeah, again, it's gonna be your simp. You're a simp. You're simping. You're simping.
I don't join that narrative. Because at the end of the day, if you want a woman and you're prepared to show her, you know, the way you want to woo her, then you go after it the way that you feel is the right way to get her attention. So her attention is going to be on you.
So I'm scratching, man. They're yamming me up right now.
So it's all about your narrative of what you come with when you're stepping up to that type of woman. Remember, if you just want the building to be knocked down, pay as you go. So you go over to the zoo, right? So you go there, you pay, you do your thing. But if you're wanting something more long-term and professional, that's somebody that's got class too, by the way. So when you go out with the people, wow, who's that? She's dressed nice, she looks elegant, she's professional, she has great etiquette.
That's why I take my lady to her.
Right, so she has great etiquette. Then you may have to step up your game and, you know, your game plan's a little bit different to being a demolition man. And that's all I'm saying. This place has something for everybody. Everybody around the world. It has something for everyone. And like I said, the man them in the UK, come out to the dead stop relationship, Reggie, where you and the woman live in a yard and out. And you're the fuckery. And you're not even talking. She's not even cooking your rascal meal. And you're still going to that yard every day. Reggie, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I was always fortunate, right, that I had yards. So I never really had to keep up them things. I had yards because I used to own property and rent them out. Because back in the day, in North London, we had this little connection with the Jewish man then. So he used to be a hard money lender. So the Jewish man used to lend everybody the money, right? Then what I did, came up with this ideology that, listen, when someone forfeits on that loan, I want to take over that debt, but you got to pay the stamp duty.
But before you go any further,
give me some gems.
We are rolling into part 4. So listen, take note. We'll be back with our unexpected bonus round, part 4. Peace and love, manners and respect.